SCHD is known as the king of dividend ETFs, and there is good reason to do so. Uh, it's a Charles Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF, has a very low expense ratio of 0.06%, and as we can see on the chart, it's been very great in terms of stock appreciation as well as the dividend yield, which is what people are really going for with this ETF. As a dividend yield sitting at 3.457%. And the best thing about it is the dividend is always growing. So you can buy this ETF, and over time, no matter what the price is, the dividend will increase. If we take a look at the dividend growth rate, so our 12%, this is a quarterly payout dividend. So a lot of people like those monthly paying dividends, even those weekly dividend ETFs that people have been flocking towards. But this one, it pays quarterly, and honestly, it's not that big of a deal if you go with a quarterly versus a weekly or monthly paying ETF. And as we can see, the cash amount, it's always growing. It's had reliable payouts, and overall, just an amazing ETF that people love to hold. Now, here are going to be two ETFs that can rival SCHD and in some cases have actually outperformed SCHD. The first one is going to be dgro, has a low expense ratio of 0.08%, has a lower yield of 2.16% yield. So it's about a little less than half of what SCHD is paying out. But what you're getting with this ETF is that growth that people are really looking for, that aggressive growth. So a lot of people for SCHD, that is going to be a great dividend fund for people who are nearing retirement, who are looking to preserve the capital. But for someone who wants both dividends and growth, DGRO is a great option for you to consider. If we take a look at the dividends, it does have a dividend growth rate of only 5%, pays out quarterly, just like SCHD, and overall, very, very solid dividends in addition to that stock appreciation, which people really like. And it's very good to have that stock appreciation when you're younger because you have all that time on your hands to withstand that volatility. So if we take a look at the holdings, how does the holdings compare to SCHD? Well, we can see that it's very diversified. It has great companies, JP Morgan, Johnson & Johnson, Broadcom, AbbVie, ExxonMobil, Microsoft, Apple. So you're getting that tech exposure, which really helps with that stock appreciation, that growth that we're looking for. And then you have staples like Home Depot, Coca-Cola. So very, very solid companies, very, very big companies, which is really good for long-term holdings because you don't want those new ETFs that have very risky holdings inside of it. You want solid companies that you know are going to exist for a long time, just to make your investment a lot more safer. Now, if we compare it to SCHD's holdings, we can see that it does have some overlap. It does have Home Depot, has Verizon, Cisco, BlackRock, Chevron, but it lacks tech, which DGRO has. And if we take a look at the total real returns, we actually have seen that SCHD has underperformed DGRO in terms of total returns. Even though SCHD has that higher dividend yield, we are looking at less growth than DGRO. And then another contender is going to be DIVO, which has seen a 97% return compared to 87% SCHD. Now let's take a look at DIVO. It's an Amplify Enhanced Dividend ETF. So it does have a higher expense ratio of 0.56%. And I believe this is an actively managed fund, which is why it has such a high expense ratio. But we do have a high dividend yield of 4.51%. And if you take a look at the chart, it has great stock appreciation as well, which contributes to that great total return. If we take a look at the dividend stats, we do have a similar dividend growth rate towards SCHD of 12%, and this pays out monthly. So the other two ETFs pay out quarterly. If you like getting those dividends every single month, this is a great option with a 4.51% yield. So overall, great dividend income ETF. It has outperformed SCHD over the last decade, but so has DGRO. So if you want to choose between DGRO and DIVO, my pick would honestly be DGRO. But if you want those monthly dividends, DIVO is a great option as well. Because a lot of people love monthly dividends. It helps them with their mindset, helps them stay on track with investing. And that's what investing is all about. It's staying on track, being invested in the market, and overall being patient.